Take a live look at the Glenn County Courthouse in Brunswick, which is the national spotlight. Again, it's in the spotlight. Jury selection is expected to begin soon in the trial of the 3 men accused of killing Ahmaud Arbery. Thank you so much for joining us today. So we have Gregory and Travis McMichael, also William Bryan, who are accused of killing Arbery, who was jogging in the Satilla Shores neighborhood back in February of 2020. News4Jax has multiple crews in Brunswick today. We want to begin first with Tarek Miner. And Tarek, before jury selection, there were several motions made before the judge.
Yeah, jury selection here in Glenn County was delayed this morning, all because of 2 emergency motions that were filed by members of the news media, and they all had to do with access to both jury selection and to the trial itself. The first motion filed asks the judge to vacate a gag order in this case, which basically means that any individual involved in this case is not allowed to speak with the media. They are restricted from it. That motion was denied, so that gag order does remain in place. The second motion filed addresses the media access into the courtroom during the trial, including whether or not the media is allowed to bring in laptops and cell phones. Now, right now, the attorneys are talking about the questions that they're going to be asking these jurors, the questions that are basically going to eliminate the jurors from being on the jury or those that will be on the jury. And the judge does have some concerns. Here's what he said just moments ago.
I don't rush anything in a case, but I also don't want to just burn time for the sake of burning time. We have a lot of jurors that would like to get through the court in order to determine when and if we can have a panel in this case. And the longer we spend on each individual question and each individual phase, the more concerned I get about how this is going to go.
Procedurally, what we're hearing just now from the judge is that the first panel of jurors, they are expected to be brought into the courthouse at 1 o'clock. But as you saw earlier, outside of the courthouse, dozens of people are here, some showing solidarity and support for the family of Ahmaud Arbery. Meanwhile, the 3 men, Roddy Bryan and Gregory and Travis McMichael, say that they are innocent. Janice Harris is joining us now live right out in front of the courthouse. And Janice, I understand you've been speaking to people who traveled from out of state and plan to be here for the long haul.
Yes, some of them are saying they're going to be here for at least a week, if not more. And you see them right here behind me. Dozens of people have already showed up by car or bus to show their support for Ahmaud Arbery's family. And more are expected to be here before the end of the day and setting up outside. You see right now the parents for Ahmaud Arbery. You see Benjamin Crump, the attorney with Ahmaud's father. We just saw Ahmaud Arbery's mother and the attorney, Mr. Merritt. They're walking out right now and speaking. But inside the courthouse just a moment ago, the state and defense going through questions that the jurors will be asked. And I also want to show you this in just a moment. This is a copy right here of some of the questions, the preliminary questions that they will be asked. But also we heard from Benjamin Crump and also Ahmaud Arbery's father just a moment ago, maybe a couple of hours ago, actually, when they first arrived. This is what they had to say.
That a white person will be convicted for killing a black person, no matter how much evidence we have. So we're not taking anything for granted. We are here focused every step of the way for justice, for Ahmaud Arbery, to make sure that they're held accountable to the full extent of the law. Slap on the wrist would not be enough.
Not at all.
As long as I get justice, I'm good.
Thank you.
But I know my son was lynched by a white mob.
And you just heard what they had to say. I'm going to go over here in just a moment to see what else they have to say as they've just come out of the courthouse. But coming up tonight at 5 and 6, you'll hear more from the people that have traveled near and far to be here for this trial. Reporting live in Glenn County Courthouse, Janice Harris, Channel 4, the local station. Back to you, Tarek.
Janice, thank you. Folks at home, it could take 1 or perhaps even 2 weeks to seat this jury of 12 with 4 alternates. Keep in mind, there are about 1,000 jurors who have been summoned, and that large number really reflects the challenges that the court faces, that they think they're going to face in finding someone who has not heard about this case or who has not already formed their own opinion on this case. And that's why those lawyers right now are talking about the questions that they are going to be asking of those jurors to determine whether or not they will sit on this jury. Of course, we're going to have continuous coverage from Glenn County. We're live right now. I'm Tariq Minor, Channel 4. Back to you, Melanie.
All right, Tarek, thank you so much. So this is something that we unpacked this weekend. We also did on the morning show as well. Specifically, we asked defense attorney Gene Nichols, who is not affiliated with this case, about what attorneys are looking for when it comes to these jurors.
I think that we're going to have so many individuals who know too much about this case and have opinions on one side or the other that are so ingrained after, again, the long history of this case, the small community, that it's going to take several attempts to get a jury. As a criminal defense lawyer, I'm looking for people who are, one, open-minded, who are going to also be willing to give their opinion, who are not, we say all the time as defense lawyers, we don't want sheep in the back. We don't want people who are just going to follow other people's leads.
And also they're looking for people who don't know the defense, people who don't have any connection to those three men. So the Glenn County Superior Court clerk says the whole jury selection, as Tarek just mentioned, could take 2 weeks or even longer. Now, there will be some road closures during this trial. Reynolds Street from G Street to I Street will be closed. And if necessary, they could close more roads later, they say. The mayor said this: we want to minimize disruptions to traffic, and road closures really the best way to do that while accommodating those choosing to participate in peaceful assembly.